Emmerdale's Cain Dingle is finally pulled into Celia and Ray's dangerous web tonight. As a long brewing showdown edges closer, Emmerdale appears to be offering fans renewed hope that Cain Dingle could play a decisive role in bringing down the village's most sinister figures. Tonight's episode marks a turning point, dragging Cain into the shadowy world of Celia Daniels and Ray Walter after Moira makes a discovery that is genuinely chilling. This feels like one of those pivotal moments where a storyline shifts gear. Once Cain Dingle is involved, nothing stays quiet for long. While snooping around Celia's farmhouse in her absence, Moira uncovers paperwork that makes her blood run cold. Her signature has been forged on fraudulent invoices involving thousands of turkeys, figures wildly beyond the modest partnership she believed she had entered into. It quickly becomes clear that Celia has deliberately implicated Moira in a money laundering operation, using her name as cover while keeping her completely in the dark. Furious and betrayed, Moira demands answers. But Celia once again proves that manipulation is her sharpest weapon. At the Woolpack, with villagers watching closely, Celia expertly flips the narrative, presenting herself as the wounded innocent. It is classic behavior, and deeply unsettling to watch. Celia knows exactly how to weaponize vulnerability when it suits her. What makes the moment even darker is her calculated cruelty. With a quiet, poisonous remark, she suggests that Moira might simply be confused because her brain tumor has returned. It is one of the most vicious lines Celia has delivered so far, striking Moira at her most vulnerable point. Moira's reaction is instant and explosive. She slaps Celia in front of everyone, earning gasps and swift condemnation from onlookers who have no idea what has really been happening behind closed doors. Later, away from prying eyes, Moira confides in Cain about the mess she is now trapped in. Going to the police feels impossible. Drawing attention to the paperwork could land her in serious trouble, leaving her feeling cornered and powerless, a place Moira knows all too well, and hates being forced back into. Cain listens carefully, and it does not take him long to connect the dots. He points out that Ray has never quite rung true either, recalling his strange behavior when Marlon backed into his car. Cain's instincts are firing, and once that happens, he rarely ignores them. I'm thinking I don't trust Ray either, Cain muses, before suggesting a direct confrontation. We go there tomorrow. We ask questions. Together. Moira does not hesitate. Her response is firm, laced with warning. She will not be used or humiliated without a fight. This is no longer just about dodgy paperwork, it is personal now. This uneasy alliance could mark the beginning of the end for Celia's reign of terror. Cain and Moira are at their strongest when they stand together, and with Cain finally turning his attention to Celia and Ray, the balance of power in the village may be about to shift. The only question is whether they are walking into a trap of their own, or whether this long-awaited showdown will finally expose the truth. Meanwhile, Ray Walters betrays Celia yet again tonight by breaking her rules, choosing loyalty to bear over obedience to control. Another crack appears in the toxic bond between Ray Walters and Celia Daniels as Ray once again puts compassion before control. It is a quiet but hugely significant act of defiance, and it speaks volumes about how far Ray has drifted from the woman he once regarded as a mother figure. The tension builds when Ray notices Beowulf struggling with a painful hand injury that has clearly been left to fester. Bear is falling behind with his work, but Celia shows no concern whatsoever. Instead, she snaps that he is exaggerating and accuses him of playing for sympathy, a chilling reminder that, to Celia, people are resources, not human beings. Ray cannot ignore what he sees. Unlike Celia, he understands the real danger of infection and knows Bear needs urgent medical help. When the forced workers are bundled off for another brutal day, Ray seizes his chance. Acting quickly and without hesitation, he bends Celia's rules and quietly pulls Bear aside. Ted, when you get to the site, you're staying in the van, Ray tells him calmly. I'll tell the others I need you on a different job. We're going to the hospital to get that hand stitched up. We can't risk infection. This moment feels pivotal. Ray is no longer asking permission or seeking approval. He is making decisions of his own, and that alone would be enough to enrage Celia if she found out. The hospital visit comes with strict conditions. Ray warns Bear not to tell staff the injury happened at work, knowing it could expose Celia's illegal operation. In a bold and deeply symbolic move, Ray poses as Bear's son. Given the bond they have formed, it feels strangely natural and quietly moving. For the first time, Ray steps into a role defined by protection rather than exploitation. While waiting at the hospital, the two men talk, and the scenes are unexpectedly tender. Ray opens up about the future in a way viewers have never quite seen before. His growing feelings for Laurel Thomas have allowed him to imagine a different life, one not ruled by fear or obedience. What if my dream included a lady? Ray asks tentatively, speaking about Laurel's children, taking things slowly, and the weight of commitment. When he talks about becoming a stepfather, it is clear he understands the responsibility involved. This is not a man chasing comfort, it is a man who wants to be better. This feels like the moment Ray truly begins to change. His loyalty to Bear is not just kindness, it is rebellion. It is proof that Celia's grip is weakening, even if she does not realize it yet. But looming over everything is the question of whether Ray will ever be allowed this dream. He has committed terrible crimes under Celia's command, and she does not forgive disobedience lightly. If she discovers what he has done tonight, the fallout could be brutal. Ray may believe he is stepping towards freedom, love, and redemption, but with Celia Daniels still pulling the strings, it feels heartbreakingly likely that his hopes are about to be tested in the cruelest way possible. Emmerdale also sets up a major Christmas storyline as Charity Dingle's carefully constructed lie begins to crack. One small slip could change everything, and Vanessa Woodfield is closer to the truth than Charity realizes. Charity is currently pregnant with Ross Barton's baby following a reckless one-night stand, yet she continues to maintain the lie that she is carrying a child as a surrogate for Sarah Sugden and Jacob Gallagher. It is a fragile story at the best of times, and tonight, the pressure begins to show. As Charity prepares for her 20-week scan, her nerves are unmistakable. While Sarah and Jacob are brimming with excitement, Vanessa quickly senses that something is not right. Charity brushes it off, claiming she is worried about potential health issues, but Vanessa remains unconvinced. When Vanessa casually mentions that Sarah and Jacob had their embryo screened, Charity hesitates, just for a moment. That pause says everything. It shows how close Charity is to slipping, and how well Vanessa still reads her despite everything between them. Vanessa jumps to the wrong conclusion, suspecting Mac could be the biological father, but she is circling dangerously close to the truth. Charity manages to deflect and insist the baby belongs to Sarah and Jacob, yet the damage is done. Once doubt is planted, it cannot be ignored. At the scan itself, the tension is almost unbearable. Charity is visibly on edge as Jacob explains he was fully tested before IVF. The scan goes perfectly, leaving Sarah and Jacob euphoric, but Charity cannot share in their joy. Instead, she is left drowning in guilt. The contrast is striking. Everyone else is celebrating new life, while Charity silently counts down to the moment her lie explodes. Vanessa refuses to let it rest. After the scan, she confronts Charity again, urging honesty and reminding her of her past with Mac. Charity lashes out, shutting the conversation down and throwing Vanessa out. It is a defensive reaction, one that screams panic rather than confidence. Viewers, of course, already know the truth. A DNA test has confirmed beyond doubt that Ross is the father. Vanessa may be wrong about the details, but she is closer than Charity realizes. With Christmas approaching, the tension is set to intensify. Charity is forced to spend the festive period with Vanessa, a situation that feels like a ticking time bomb. Spoilers hint that alcohol could loosen tongues, and if Vanessa lets something slip, even accidentally, Charity's lie could collapse in spectacular fashion. This Christmas, it feels less like a season of goodwill for charity, and more like a slow march towards exposure. One wrong word, one drink too many, and everything could change.